Going on, guys? This is Greggatron, second video of the day. Like I said earlier, all good things must come to an end. American Horror Story Season 2 is now over. Uh, I really like this season, uh, mostly for two reasons, for the characters and the plot. I can talk about the characters all day, you know what I mean? We had Kit Walker. He was kind of a symbol for good. Uh, he's kind of our hero. I know I found myself cheering him on all the time. We get to know him from episode 1. We get his story, why he's at the asylum. Kit was just a great character. Like one time, Lana Winters is about to be attacked, and I'm like, man, I need Kit right now. Then Kit runs in the room, bashes Threats in the head with something. I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. See, Kit is just like our hero, Like I said, Lana Winters, she had a lot of story. She wasn't even supposed to be there. She was, the reporter, and pretty much she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And she was in a tight spot. She couldn't leave the asylum, and it sucked for her. She was one of our good guys. Who else did we have? We had Sister Jude. Sister Jude started off as an asshole, but the more and more the show goes on, we get to know Sister Jude. We get to understand her. And yeah, she was still an asshole, but we kind of felt sorry for her. Like when she was when she became an inmate, not an inmate, but you know what I mean. But she didn't belong there, man. They did her wrong. They did her wrong. Uh, who else did we have? We had Grace. Grace was one of my favorites. When bad things happened to Grace. Oh, by the way, she has some pretty good backstory too. But when bad stuff happened to her, I got pretty mad. Like, you remember the part when Grace got shot? I'm like, no, no. I was like, man, this is not happening. You know, uh, even Pepper. Pepper was kind of a comedy relief. Uh, she's like this ugly little woman who like, I don't want to see her, but she's so funny. And I didn't really start caring about Pepper till towards the end. Arthur. Arthur, at first, I wasn't sure if he was the main villain, because, we have our good guys, but there's several villains. Arthur, he's a Nazi, and he's the doctor. He's performing all these crazy experiments. And I'm like, man, this guy is nuts. This guy is twisted, man. Like what he did to the whore. I'm like, that ain't even right, man. That's crazy stuff. He's pretty twisted. But he wasn't even the main bad guy. We also had Dr. Thredson. He was even worse. You think Arden's bad, or yeah, Arthur Arden. You think he's bad, and then we had Thredson, who turned out to be Bloody Face. I'm like, no, what is happening right now? What am I watching? So that guy, he was probably the main villain. I mean, it gets worse, but at one point, I mean, the show kind of revolves around the stuff he does, around his story. Uh, and everybody has their own story, so I'm going to talk about that later. But yeah, Thredson's got crazy stuff going on, being bloody face and whatnot. And we have Sister Mary. She was so positive at first. She was so pure. Her purity, that's what made her. She was so innocent, you know. And she gets possessed, and that's when things just go downhill for everyone. You think these people are in a tight spot as it is, But after the devil possesses her, it's like, man, these people are in a very, very dark place. Because, after Jude loses her spot, like everything for these characters just goes downhill. Stuff gets worse and worse and worse. So that's three villains right there: Thredson, Arthur, and Mary. You know, and then of course, present time we have Bloodyface's son. That also kept us interested, and they did a very good job of going from the present to the past. Most of it, probably 90% of it took, 95% of it took place in the 60s, but they did a good job of showing Bloodyface's son and all that good stuff. Now, when it came to the aliens with Kit Walker's story, I didn't really care for that. I mean, they were trying something different, but I thought the show would have been just as good without them doing that. But all these characters, whether they're a good guy or a bad guy, even the whore, you know, all these people I just gave a damn about. And I'm not saying everybody was important because there's always going to be background characters, but the people who did have personality, they were good folks. Like when Monsignor got raped by Sister Mary, that was a twist right there, and that's some crazy stuff. And I didn't even like what's his name, Monsignor like that. I didn't even like the guy that much. But that was so crazy, and there were some side characters like the Santa Claus guy, the Christmas guy, and he was a villain. His episode was mad. You know, he could have been like a Batman villain. That guy was insane, and I wish they would have focused on him some more because I really liked what they did with him. Uh, One guy, he was a black guy who cut his hands off or something. It was crazy. We cared about all these characters, even if they're in an episode just once. We still cared, and all their stories kind of intertwine with each other, like Kit's story, how it relates to Grace's story. How they get together, and how Kit and Jude, their relationship, and uh, Kit and Lana. Kit likes everybody. Everybody likes Kit, but Lana and Jude, their relationship, and Jude and Pepper's relationship. You know, all their stories kind of intertwine. It's not just a show about somebody trying to run an asylum, somebody being an asshole to these inmates. Why do I keep saying inmates? They're not. Whatever. But patients, yeah, these patients. There we go. But it's not just about somebody who's bad trying to control these patients, but it's about the patients just trying to live. There's been some escape opportunities, and I'm cheering them on. You know, I'm cheering Lana on. When bad stuff happens to Lana, I got pretty upset. Same with Grace. Same with Kit. Even Jude. You know, I was like, man, this ain't even right. Like the stuff that ended up happening to Jude, like how she got erased. But the plot itself, it was pretty twisted. Uh, I really liked the plot. I really liked how things turned out. Now, from episode one, we know Briarcliff is not a happy place. We just know that from the mood, the tone, the setting, just the way everything is so creepy and ugly and nasty. We know it's not a happy place, but we don't know how stuff is going to turn out. We know bad stuff is going to happen, but the way they performed it, the way the twisted things would happen, it's just like, wow, like, did I just see that? They did a really good job of making us care about these characters. That's how you know it's good, when you care when the bad guys die. Because, like, every time a bad guy died, somebody worse would show up. Or not even if they died, but if something bad happened to a bad guy, somebody else would show up. It was crazy. I love this show. It's a great show. Um, oh, and every character had their own conflict. You know, Kit, he was innocent. You know, he wasn't supposed to be there really. He was framed. And Lana, we know she's not supposed to be there. But I can talk about the good guys, of course, how I feel about them. But even the bad guys, uh, I shouldn't say it in terms of good guys and bad guys, but you know, the villains even they had their own conflict. Like Sister Jude was kind of fighting for her position, and Arthur. At first, Arthur he didn't like Jude, and he helped with putting her away. So everybody had their own conflict, even the devil, you know. But it was really really good, and of course I'm gonna recommend it. Uh, it's probably gonna be on DVD at the end of the year. I think I said that in the other video. But yeah, the tone is very dark. It's nasty and gritty and it's twisted. So make sure you check that out. And they did a good job of Bloody Face's son. They gave him character. You know, he wasn't just some asshole. We cared about the guy. You know. But yeah, be sure to check that out. This is Greggatron, and thanks for watching.